with your thighs but still stay on your horse. Comment below, let me know if you grip with your knees or your thighs, or you find yourself pinching on the horse. This is something that a lot of riders do because we're trying to stay with our horse and stay on the horse. But what happens is that if you grip with your legs, if you grip with your knees, a few things happen. One is that it tightens up your hips and your back, so you're not so much able to follow the motion of the horse. And the other thing that happens is if you pinch with your knees, it actually lifts you out of the saddle. So you can, next time you're riding, just play with that. Like if you squeeze with your knees, it actually lifts you up out of the saddle. So I'm going to show you some little exercises to do to help you so that you can still stay with your horse but not grip with your knee. So the first thing is that when you sit in the saddle and you put your leg on, when we talk about knee pressure, so your knees should be in the saddle. They should not be gripping, but you also shouldn't have like a big space between your knee and the saddle. So you don't want to ride like this, but you also don't want to grip so tightly that it tightens your inner thigh and actually pushes your butt out of the saddle. So what you actually want to hold your leg in the saddle is your outer upper thigh and your glute med, which we talk a lot about in my dressage rider position course. I'll link that below also. But your outer thigh is actually what keeps your leg on the horse. So when I'm walking around here, I'm really thinking about that, like my outer thigh and my glute is my outer glute muscle, not like squishing my butt together, but like the outside part of your glute is what keeps your thigh in the saddle. And this allows the feeling like you're kind of just draping your legs over the horse, and you feel pressure like through your inner thigh, through your knee, and through your upper calf. You shouldn't have pressure all the time in your foot and your heel on the horse, but you should have contact with your calf. So when we go up to the trot, we'll start out in rising trot, and I'll just kind of talk you through what I'm feeling with my legs. So in the trot here, again, I have pressure in my upper thigh and in my knee, but I'm not gripping with my knee. So my knee's not flopping out like this. My toe is turned forward, but I do have a little light contact with my knee in the saddle. Now when you go to sitting trot, I think this is where a lot of people start gripping. Let me know if you're one of those. But when I go to sitting trot, again, I'm really thinking about just letting my legs drape over the horse. I'm thinking about my heels dropping down, down, down. And I'm really letting my hips, like my hips and my middle section, are really moving with the horse. So if you grip, when I come in front of the camera, I'm going to grip with my knees. So if I grip with my knees, here's what happens. So you can see my butt starts bumping out of the saddle, my upper body leans forward, and it kind of just all goes to shit. My horse stops trotting. So it's really important to think about these outer thigh muscles that keep your leg draped over the horse. Now, same thing in the canter. I'm thinking of my outer thighs, my knees forward, my toes forward. Get my horse going. Good girl. And this allows my hips to stay following the motion of the canter. Because if I grip too much with my knees, it's actually going to tighten my seat and bump me out of the saddle. So let me show you what happens if I grip with my knees. Then I lean forward, my butt starts bumping out of the saddle. She actually goes because she's a little more of a jumper, so she's kind of used to that. But the other problem with when you grip with your knees, so what I see a lot of people do is that when they grip with their knees, what happens is it makes, when you're gripping with your knee, you can no longer effectively kick your horse. So if you're gripping with your knee and your inner thigh, your lower leg is very ineffective and you can't keep your horse going. So that's another huge problem with gripping with your knees.